double digits in the first quarter. Basically polar opposite, where we fight our way back and don't have enough to get over the hump. But we came out with some focus tonight, defensively especially. Held them to 20 points in the first quarter. So you give yourself a big cushion. We lost a little focus in the third, beginning of the fourth with too much fouling and slowed the game down, gave them easy points. But, I think we learned a little bit about maintaining our composure a little bit down the stretch and executing, especially on offense, and made enough plays to get it done.
When you say maintaining your composure late, what kind of specific possession do you think of?
I mean, we still had a couple turnovers, but it was more about just getting good shots. I think started defensively. We made them take a couple contested twos. They made a couple. They missed a couple. We got in transition. There was 2 plays, I think, where they got to the basket. We didn't foul. They missed. Then we turned that into, offense on our side. JP hit a big 3 in the corner. Clay hit one. I got one. Wiggs made some big buckets at the basket, and Loon got that dunk. So, we just connected the game on both sides. And the fourth quarters, we haven't necessarily done that very well, so it's big.
You guys had 15 assists in the first quarter and 37 on the night after having 40 the last game. I mean, do you feel like, we've talked a lot about momentum, but do you feel like this is kind of a turning point where you guys are playing more your brand?
Yeah, but sample size is still small. You want to obviously maintain the positive vibes that we've been creating, but we know we have a lot more work to do. So the way that we started with with Wiggs back and our starting lineup that we've had since the Boston game, we understand how to create good offense. And then when you have a mindfulness of how we're going to defend, knowing that we're small, we can use it to our advantage. So the assists and stuff comes from a great space. Obviously, guys finishing possessions, but it's a fun way to play when you put it all together.
You talk about the defensive stops that y'all were getting that fourth, especially when they got within, I think, one possession. Just talk about how important that defense was that y'all were able to be able to slow them down and pretty much shut them down the last couple of minutes.
I mean, they hit some big threes early in the fourth, got the crowd into it on top of how they finished in the third quarter. But, we just try to, again, keep them off the free throw line as much as possible because that slows the game down and lets them set the defense. And then when you get stops, because the lineups are heavy small ball, there's a lot of cross matching and nobody knows who they're guarding. So it creates some confusion on that end, especially when we get in transition. And that's where we're at our best.
What do you think of Shea's game and just, what he's turned into?
I mean, he's always been a tough scorer ever since that we got our first experience with him in the Clippers playoff series. He's shifty. He plays at his own pace. Nobody can rush him. He's tall enough to shoot over you. He's good at drawing fouls. We knew coming into the game he was going to make tough shots. That's what he does. And he ended up with 31 after having 2 in the first quarter. So he's a scorer. But you just got to make a tough one and make him work. One of those guys that's probably going to get his numbers no matter how you guard him. It's just how it looks and how he gets them.
How different is it playing them this season compared to the last few? I mean, do you feel them kind of forming, in this later stage of their rebuild?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably playing above what people predicted in the sense of, having a young team that's new to each other, but they have a lot of talent. And they're obviously in the mix for a reason because they play hard every night. They use their athleticism. Shea's been playing, amazing all year, so you have to pay attention to them. And they won a lot of close games too because, they have that youthful energy about them. And they're a tough team to beat, regardless of the experience that they have.
What was it like hanging out with Taylor?
Oh, it's great. The timing is crazy. Just knowing she just broke the record this week, and we're coming through town, and she had a night off. She thinks she plays tomorrow, but pretty cool to see her celebrate her accomplishment. She made 8 threes in her first college game, and I made 8 tonight. So it's kind of cool connection right there.